is easy, but working hard on a regular basis is challenging. But remember that nothing is impossible and you can do this. And this video, I'm going to help you out to crack your NEET PG to make your dream come true. Hello friends, this is Dr. Sangeeta and welcome back to another lecture of Dental Pathshala, where we help you understand and learn dentistry better and easy way. And this video is a little effort to help you prepare for your NEET PG exam. Subscribe and join me in your beautiful challenging journey to crack NEET PG. So without further ado, let's get started. So friends, welcome back to another lecture. In today's video we are going to cover the diseases of the skin, and today's video we are going to cover lichen planus, erythema multiforme, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, and we are going to cover the TEM. So TEM is again a suspense. It is not some hi-fi disease or anything. So but remember that everything which we have got for free, we should not take for granted. Now everything, especially the time which we have got, that is worthwhile, that is came to us for free. Either it is our body, our soul, our parents, our sibling, our country, our hopes, our dreams, our ambitions, and our intelligence. We always take our brain, take our time for granted. So all these priceless possessions which we got free, so does our channel Dental Pathshala, where I guide you through your dream. So let's start with before starting with the lichen planus, we know that this is the basement membrane. So up we have got the epidermis, below we have got the connective tissue. So in that, the bottommost layer, so suppose if I am going in the skin, so the superficial layer, and we have got the layer which is connective to the connective tissue, right? So the layer which is closer to the connective tissue is the basal layer, right? So like that we have got the basal layer, then we have got the spinosum, granulosum, corneum layer, corneum in which there are keratin which is present, right? So in case of orthokeratinization, parakeratinization, again corneum is not present, but that is right now that is not necessary. So what do we see? We see that there are keratinocytes which are present in the basal layer. There are a lot of keratinocytes actually which are present in the basal layer. So we see that there are a lot of keratinocytes, and above all we have got melanocytes also. So in that layer we have got the melanocytes, keratinocytes, all these stem cells, mesenchymal cells, or these cells we see. So what happens? This basal layer is connected to the connective tissue by hemidesmosome, right? So hemidesmosome is a connection which is holding on these cells. They are holding on to the basement membrane, okay? They don't want this basement membrane to go into the connective tissue. So they are holding on. They are very tightly holding on. And these cells also, they are connected to each other. They are holding to each other also. So sideways they are stick with the glue, which we call it, this glue we call it the desmosomes, right? This intracellular adhesion we call is the desmosomes, and the connection of the basal layer to the basement membrane we call it hemidesmosome. Because see, how can you remember? Sometimes we get confused between the desmosome and hemidesmosome. How are we going to remember it? That always see that one cell, there is no other cell. So both the side there are no cells. There is only one cell, right? Other side there is no cell. So hemi. You can remember hemidesmosome is wherein only one side cell is there. If both the side cell is there, then it will be a desmosomal connection. So what do we see? These basal cell, they are connected to the hemidesmosomes, right? And we see that what happens when there is a virus which is attacking, or any bacteria which is attacking. So what happens when there is a bacteria? We have got the T cells. You know, they are coming they just come anywhere. We see the bacteria. These T cells, you know, they are like a guard. So they just keep on roaming in the blood, and whenever they see any antigen, they call up B cells. They call up the army. I have told you in the previous video also, they call up army, and these B cells release the cytokines, and there is an inflammation which proceeds, right? So what happens in case of lichen planus? These keratinocytes which are present in the basal layer, they represent the MHC on them. So MHC is basically, MHC1 is, you know, when there is a, suppose if this is a virus, okay, this is a virus, bad virus. When it comes inside the body, right? When it comes inside the body, it goes inside these connective tissue, and when the epidermal cells, then the keratinocytes get some part of these viruses, then these cells, these keratinocyte, they show to T helper cells that hey, he's there, this guy, this fellow, this villain, he is here, come and grab it. But what this T cell does, it is not going to grab this bacteria or the virus, it actually grabs whole of the keratinocyte. So I'm going to repeat it again. What happens when there is a bacteria or the virus which invades in the body? Now, there are keratinocytes which are present in the basal layer. These basal layer keratinocytes, they take up the virus or they take up the antigen and they present it on their cell. You know what? They are going to wave hands like this. They are going to wave hands, okay? They are going to wave hand. So say hi. They are calling these T cells that he's here, like that they are calling. And what happens? These T cells come. He is not going to kill the part of the virus or the bacteria which is there inside. He is going to kill the whole cell. So this is what he does. So this T cell is going to come wherever there are the MHC molecule which are represented by these keratinocytes. So what happens? When it comes, this T cell is going to attack the MHC and it is going to attack the antigen presenting site. So what happens? There is going to be breakage of the antigen presenting site. There is going to be the killing of the antigen presenting site, and herein we have the antigen presenting site, which is the cell which is our keratinocyte. So there is going to be death of the keratinocyte, and it doesn't stop. This T cells, it is going to call the B cells also. It is going to release the cytokines. So these cytokines are very dangerous. Actually, these cytokines, you can think it as these are the acid. This T cells are going to release. These are actually the inflammatory mediators. But this inflammation is actually to kill the bacteria or the virus. But what it does, so suppose if any area you want to throw the acid, or if you want to kill the microorganism, but what if this acid spreads to our natural tissues? It is going to burn the natural tissue. So if they think of the inflammatory cells, inflammatory chemicals, these cytokines, as if they are going to also kill the bacteria or the virus, but along with that they kill the area of the tissue also. So there are going to be the damage of the basal membrane. So what happens? There is going to be the damage of the basal membrane, and also now wherever there is a damage of the basal membrane, so they keep on eating like this. They keep on eating like this. So again here also they keep on eating like this. And this is how we see these sawtooth rete-ridges. So if you have heard of, if you have given your exam in the oral path, and because these T cells, they are releasing these inflammatory cells, these cytokines. So this tumor necrotic factor alpha, don't worry right now if you don't know what tumor necrotic factor alpha is, just for time being, because when we are doing the pathology lectures, when we are talking about the general medicine lectures, we will talk about all this inflammation again. For time being, remember that these cytokines, they are inflammatory mediators. So they are going to produce such a substance that is going to damage the whole of the tissue as well as the virus. So one of the example of cytokines is tumor necrotic factor alpha. So what it does? Now this T cells, they are going to go inside. You know what? They are going to kill the cells, keratinocytes which have got the MHC on its surface, and also they are going to release the cytokines. These cytokines, or you can say the kind of acid, they are going to damage the basal membrane, and thereby when they are keep on eating inside, and suppose this here was a cell and it was again representing the MHC, it is going to eat, go inside, and this cytokine is going to kill in such a form. So the rete-ridges, so the basement membrane comes like this. So this is the appearance of histological appearance of the lichen planus, which is the sawtooth rete-ridges. Now you know that why do we tell this sawtooth rete-ridges. Now what happens? It doesn't stop here. Also there are some melanocytes, right? They also take up the same thing. They also take up the virus or the bacteria. Now what happens? These melanocytes, they are going to release the melanin. They are, you know what, they are scared. They get scared when these melanocytes, they see that they see that our own body is killing, our own team is killing all these keratinocytes. So these melanin pigments, they pee here, so they urinate, so they release the melanin substance, they release the melanin pigment, and this is the reason for discoloration of the skin of lesions in the lichen planus. So because of that, because of the release of melanin in the basal layer, we see that there is a hyperpigmentation of the skin which happens. Now these T cells, you know, they are very harmful, you can say, or they are very naughty. So they just keep on going inside, and they think that these keratinocytes, you know, they are very dangerous. So in the granulosum layer also we have got some keratinocytes, right? So these T cells are going to reach up till the granulosum layer. So we have studied that basal layer, then spinosum, then granulosum. So they reach up till the granulosum layer. So these cytotoxic T cells, they recognize this MHC1 on the antigen presenting cell, which here the keratinocytes are carrying it. So keratinocytes are basically the principal cell layer which are present in the basal layer, right? So these cytotoxic T cells, they think as a foreign substance, they try to eat these keratinocytes, and they release the cytokines, and this is how they also reach up to the granulomesum layer. So what do we see? Because of the pigmentation, because of the urination of the melanocyte, because the melanocyte, they get scared after looking at the keratinocytes, what the body is damaging, our own team is damaging, so it pees here, and because of that there is a purple color papules which are formed in case of lichen planus. And also we see, you know, these white color these white color very thin lines we see on the lesions. We see these white color lines which we call it the Wickham striae, right? So these Wickham striae are basically, what are these? When these T cells, they are reaching the granulosum layer, okay, they reach it, there are keratinocytes, and you know that we have studied in the gingiva also, you know what, these granulosum layer is prepared for the fight, because the upper layer is the corneum. So corneum layer is without the nucleus, so you can also remember it as like these are the dead vampires. So they are just lying down here, they are not eating anything. So what if there is any breakage from the upper layer? From the upper, if any cut is there, then the next layer we have got is the granulosum layer. So granulosum layer is prepared for the fight always. So they, in order to fight, you can remember that these granulosum layer, there are keratinocytes which are present, right? Keratinocytes are also present in the basal layer, are also present in the all the layers actually, other than that the corneum layer, because corneum layer is the dead layer. So other than that we have got the keratinocytes, just the shape keep on changing. So they keep on differentiation and proliferation. So they are going to change their shape and size, they do a lot of workout, and you know, they become Salman Khan until they reach up till the layer of granulosum. So what happens? They have got the sword in their hands. So when the T cell come, they are fighting it. So what happens when you are putting this sword? So you can remember that there are lines which are formed, and you can remember it. So these are the white lines which we call it the Wickham striae. So these Wickham striae, or you can say the Wickham striae, are basically these white lines which are appear in the lichen planus. So what are the 6 P's? If you look at, see in the Wikipedia also, it says that there are 6 P's. So 6 P's are the planar, purple, polygonal, pruritic, papules and plaque. So these are the 6P lesions of the lichen planus. But the good part about is that the cutaneous lesions, the lesion which occur on skin, they heal on its own. So they are the self-limiting lesions, they heal in 6 to 12 months of time. Now what happens? These CD8 plus T helper cells, they target our own body cells which are the keratinocytes. So they are going to target the keratinocyte. But when they are going to target the keratinocyte, I told you if there is any, actually the exact cause is not known. But it can be again the stress, any bacterial, any viral, any lichenoid reaction, or in the mouth sometime it can be the restoration also, amalgam restoration. I have read somewhere composite restoration also causes, like it can be a trigger factor. Trigger factor is something, which is triggering it. So also drug which causes the lichenoid reaction. Again in the lichenoid reaction also there is damage of the basal keratinocytes. So any anti-malarial drug also it causes the lichen planus. So what do we see in lichen planus? What are the points which we have to remember? One is the sawtooth rete or sawtooth rete. So sawtooth are basically these sharp, these rete. So if you see anywhere histologically, if you see anywhere the basement membrane is like that, then your mind should go always towards the sawtooth rete in case of lichen planus. Also we see that these keratinocytes, they are damaged, they are killed by our own body T cells, right? So these keratinocytes, they go on degeneration. That means they go on degeneration. That means this is a process of a kind of, you can say, necrosis, or towards the how do I tell, like degeneration is a process basically when something is dying, so it get degenerated. So liquefaction degeneration is kind of a degeneration. We'll cover in the pathology. If you are not understanding, then hold on, we will understand it when we cover in the pathology. So there are these keratinocytes. We see that these are degenerated keratinocytes. That means we see that in the histopathological section there are some dead keratinocytes. We call these keratinocytes as the cavate bodies, or colloidal bodies, or hyaline bodies, or cytoid bodies, so many names. So what happens? These keratinocytes, when they are dead, so they get shrunken. So all the cytoplasm, it gets shrunken, and all the nucleus it has got the pycnotic nucleus. So also we see that there is a slight acantholysis. So also, you know what, when there are the basement membrane, it is again coming towards the basal layer. So what happens? Sometimes there is a cleft which is formed. Now this cleft is called the Max Joseph space. This is due to the degeneration of the basal keratinocytes. So when these keratinocytes at the basal layer, they are degenerated, so the epithelium and the connective tissue interface is weakened and it results in the cleft. So cleft is basically some space or something, you can say. So when these both the connective tissue and the basement membrane, it gets separated, epithelial I must say. The epithelial, suppose this was, here was the epithelial layer, here was the connective tissue. So once they get separated, there is a cleft which is formed. So treatment is the first line of defenses. We give the corticosteroids. And one more thing you have to remember in the lichen planus is that we study the Greenspan syndrome. We have already covered in the syndromes, you know, this Greenspan syndrome. So if you haven't watched the syndromes video, then the Greenspan syndrome is, you can remember it, long span PON in HD. So long span PON in HD. So that is long span, you can remember from Greenspan. So PON, then P we have got the planus, H we have got the hypertension, D we have got the diabetes mellitus. So basically it is a combination of lichen planus plus hypertension plus diabetes mellitus. This is the Greenspan syndrome. Again, this is one more important point in case of a lichen planus. Now coming to the next one, we have got the erythema multiforme. Erythema multiforme or erythema multiforme, you can call it whatever you like to. So if you break the term, erythema means red, multi means many, form means forms. So that means there are going to be multiple forms of red, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a lesion full of red colors. So I'm going to make a lesion, this lesion, one red, then I'm going to make one more red, then I'm going to make one more red. So it looks like the bull eye. If you have watched that movie, Bull's Eye, I guess Bullseye. What's the name of the movie? I don't remember. I guess the Bull's Eye, or actually it is based on the Haryana only. So some old, I don't remember. I've just watched the trailer. I haven't watched the old movie. So that Sand Ki Aankh or something like that, right? Bull's Eye movie is there. So like that kind of. This is in archery, if you have seen. So there are circles like this. So like that kind of lesion we see in erythema multiforme. First thing is remember like that. So target or bullseye lesion, then if there is, because there are, see, if the question is there, bullseye, then you have to imagine this bullseye, and then so many multiple red color things are there, then you will go for always the erythema multiforme. As simple as that. Now how does this erythema multiforme spread? Now exact etiology is still unknown, but there is something which can trigger this erythema multiforme. So what happens? Suppose this is the HSV. So this is our herpes simplex virus. Okay, very bad virus. Most commonly it is because of the herpes simplex virus. So what happens? Again I'm gonna make the basal layer. So these are our keratinocytes, right? So what happens when this bacteria comes? Okay, so let's just make something from red. So when this bacteria comes, it goes inside the keratinocytes. So what happens? Again the CD8 cells come. So CD8 plus T cells, or we can say T cells come. When these T cells come, these keratinocytes, they are going to again represent themselves as the antigen representing site, antigen representing cell. They are going to wave it. They are going to call the T cells, T cells come, T cells come, like that they are going to call it. So these keratinocytes, they represent the virus antigen to these CD8 T lymphocytes, right? So what this CD8 T lymphocyte does? It is going to recognize the antigen, which is the virus antigen, which is present on the MHC class 1 of this keratinocyte. So it is what is going to do? It is going to not kill this virus, it is going to kill the whole cell. So what it does? When it kills the whole cell, there is a space which is created, right? So there is a space which is created. Now again it can be in the basal layer, in the suprabasal layer. So this space which is created is going to form a bullae. Bullae, if you know what are bullaes. So bullaes are this big, if you have seen this big size, full of sometimes maybe liquid or anything. So these bullaes, there are some lesions like that, big, full of watery content. So therefore this acute immune mediated condition, it is going to involve the skin and the mucous membrane, right? Very simple. So this is the erythema multiforme. So we see that clinically, when we look at the lesions of the erythema multiforme, then what do we see in that? Central, there is a erythematous necrosis. So in the center there is going to be red color. See, very easy. You don't have to get scared about any word. Erythematous means red. Center means in the center. Necrosis means that death. So in the center there is going to be the death of the cells, and there is the pale edematous ring. So basically there is a pale color, not dark red, little like skin color, you can say. Lighter shade of the red. So maybe this shade. It is wiped out again, don't worry. So next, above that we have got again one more red layer. We talked about, right, target lesion. So again one more, we have got the erythematous border. So this lesion is our target eye lesion, or you can say the bull's eye lesion. This is how clinically these lesions are going. These lesions, they can be as small as 3 centimeters. So there are these lesions which are present on the hands, on the wrist. So what do we see in erythema multiforme? Actually, erythema multiforme has got many types. Earlier, if we talk about the previous classification of the erythema multiforme, then it was the erythema multiforme minor, major. Then we have got SJS, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, and we have got the 10, which is 10. This is not this 10. So this is toxic epidermal necrosis, or we also call it the Lyle's disease. Don't worry, the name may look fancy to you, but it is very easy. So nowadays SGSN10, which is our toxic epidermal necrosis, is not considered to be part of the classification of erythema multiforme. Now the erythema multiforme types are only minor and major, but SGSN10, which is our toxic epidermal necrosis, or we can say the Lyle's disease, is not considered to be part of erythema multiforme because these are very rare and extreme. So the symptoms are very extreme in this case. So the bullae are actually, if I tell you, you know what these bullae is what? When there is the cell which is dead, right? So the cell which is dead. Now the space which is created by the dead cell will create this lesions, right, on the skin. So this kind of bullae are so huge because the CD8 cells has damaged most of the epidermal cells. So because of that, the cleft are so big. If you look at it, it looks like a burnt skin, like somebody has got the burns. So it is so severe. That is why we are not considering it in the classification nowadays. So the minor form, if we talk about, the minor form we have got is mild. As the name suggests, minor, that means the features are going to be mild. Major form, the severe features are going to be little bit major, that means spread in the majority. That means it is going to cover majority of the parts of the body, right? So the minor form is going to involve the skin and the one mucosa, which is our oral mucosa. But major, it is going to involve skin plus more than two mucosa. It can be oral mucosa as well as the genital, eyes, larynx, esophageal mucosa. So what do we see? We see that there are Bull's lesion which are present less than 3 centimeters. Also, what do we see in case of lips of a patient with erythema multiforme? You will see, you know, the crustings. If you are very thirsty and you feel little dryness, right? Some hard dryness on the lips, some crusting on the lips which is present. So like that, they have got the red big crusty lesions. So these are very, I'm going to show you picture in the end. You will be like, ma'am, always you say it and you never should. I actually, while teaching, I keep on forgetting. So what happens, there is going to be crusting of the lip which is present. Now this is because of the macule or papule initially. Then they form the blister. Then there is a rupture of the blister. When the blister ruptures, it is going to create an ulcer. And later on this ulcer look like the crusted surface on the lip which is red in color. Right. So coming to SJS. SJS is Stevens-Johnson syndrome. So when this erythema multiforme, it affects 10% of the body, then we call it Stevens-Johnson syndrome. If it affects more than 30% of the body, we call it toxic epidermal necrolysis. Right, very simple. So what is the main cause of SJS and TEM is the drugs, while the main cause of erythema multiforme is usually the HSV. Now there can be other causes also like Mycoplasma pneumonia, which is the bacteria, Histoplasma capsulatum, which is the fungi. So HSV, the most common. Then we have also got the pneumonia. You remember pneumonia? So the Mycoplasma pneumonia, which is a bacteria, can also cause the erythema multiforme. Histoplasma capsulatum can also cause the erythema multiforme. But SJS and TEM, the majority of the lesions are due to drugs. So any allergic reaction to the drug can cause the erythema multiforme, which is in a severe and rare form. We call it SJS and TEM, toxic epidermal necrolysis. So the drug can be carbamazepine, it can be NSAIDs, it can be sulfonamides. So what happens? The skin and mucosa is involved. Other than that, because of the cytokines are basically what? Inflammatory cells. So because of that inflammation mediators, see this, what are the signs of inflammation? Tuber, tumor, dollar, calor, right? So there is going to be redness, there is going to be fever, there is going to be swelling, rashes, all these things we see. So initially there are just macular rashes, but what happened, it undergo necrosis. So when it undergo necrosis, the skin actually feels like, it looks like that there is a burnt scars which are present on the skin. And you know what, if you rub that skin, suppose if you have seen any burnt skin, it is like you can remove the layers, it looks like that, you know. And when you put a lateral pressure, the skin is going to come out That means this is the Nikolsky sign, positive. So Nikolsky sign is what? When we put a lateral pressure or when we rub the layer, the skin come out, right? Which is the Nikolsky sign, which is positive. So this finishes the today's video lichen planus, erythema multiforme, SGS and TEM. Now you know that Nikolsky sign is positive for erythema multiforme, SGS and TEM, because erythema multiforme, Nikolsky sign is a very important question and is a very important topic. So I hope that you have enjoyed the video. So if you have enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, you can comment in the comment section below. There is a link in the description box below to support me on Paytm as well as on PayPal to make free videos for you guys and to make free notes. So till then, keep reading, keep learning, stay motivated. I'll see you soon in the next video.